My dear students, let us take a quick look at the story, The Snake and the Mirror. The narrator shared a story told by a homeopathic doctor. He was a bachelor. It was a hot summer night. It was around 10 o'clock. The doctor had his meal at a restaurant and returned home. He heard the sound of rats from the roof when he opened the door. He was familiar with the sound they made. It had 2 windows and a tiled roof. The rented house was not electrified, so he lighted the kerosene lamp. Then what he did? He took off his black coat, white shirt and not so white vest and hung them up. He opened the 2 windows in the room. He tried to sleep, but he could not, as there was no breeze. He was actually feeling very hot. After some time, he settled on a chair and took out a book to read. There was a large mirror on the table. While sitting there, he felt tempted to look into the mirror. So he saw his image in the mirror. Those days, the doctor bothered much about his looks. He was young and he was a doctor. And the most important thing was that he was a bachelor. He thought he should make himself more presentable as he was young and a bachelor. He therefore picked up the comb and parted his hair. He admired himself as he observed how he looked. He decided to shave daily and grow a thin mustache to look more handsome and always wear his attractive smile. Then he practiced smiling several times. The room in which he stayed had many rats, and they all entered from the beam. They constantly made a noise, but the doctor was used to this noise. Then the doctor got up. He paced up and down the room. He began planning his future marriage. He thought of marrying a wealthy doctor. His wife should be fat so that she won't be able to catch him if he ran away for a mistake that he might have made. He came back and sat on the chair near the table. The sound of rats had suddenly stopped. He was so engrossed in his daydreaming that he did not notice the sudden silence. Suddenly, the doctor heard a dull thud. As he turned his head, he saw that a fat snake, a cobra, had wriggled over the back of the chair and landed on his shoulder. Before the doctor could think of anything, the snake had coiled around his left arm above the elbow. His hood was spread out. His head was hardly 3 or 4 inches from his face. The doctor froze with fear. He sat there as if he was just a piece of stone. He could not move actually, because any such action would prompt the snake to strike him. What would he do if he was bitten? There was no medicine in the house for a snake bite. He thought of only one help, the help from God. It is actually human nature. When human beings are not able to find out any way, what they do is they start praying to God. In extreme cases of confusion, that time human beings start praying to God for a solution to the problem that has taken place. It seemed God appreciated that in the case of the doctor. The snake turned its head and looked into the mirror. The snake then unwound itself from the doctor's arm and fell onto his lap. From there, it crept on the table. Apparently, it wanted to see its reflection more closely, as if captivated by its own image. While the snake continued to admire itself in the mirror, the doctor heaved a sigh of relief. He got up from the chair and fled from the room. He reached a friend's house and spent the night there. He smeared oil all over himself and took a bath. He came back to his house only next morning to vacate it. It was about 8:30 in the morning. He had with him 2 friends. They had to move his things from there. However, they had little to carry. His room was almost empty because it was burgled, and only his dirty vest was left behind by the thief. The doctor had never seen the snake again. He believed that it was too taken away by its own beauty. That's an end to the story. Thank you. Have a nice day.